Welcome back to Curators Corner. My name is Jessica Chase. I am curator for 4 of the 5 county museums here in Prince Edward County, and I am joined once again by my colleague,
Liz Fennell. I'm the collections manager for the 5 county museum sites.
And we are here to do our last installment on the So Went the Summer exhibition currently on at Macaulay Heritage Park. And I think today we want to talk a little bit more about why it was so important for us after discovering the language that Liz mentioned a few installments ago that she discovered in relation to the dress of one woman, Mary Northway, speaking about her friend Flora Morrison, why that piqued our interest and why it was so important to get to the bottom of their relationship.
Mm-hmm. Knowing that we received these accessions or donations of artifacts in the early 80s, 1981, 1982, and 1985, it struck me when I saw that language in the paperwork that there was something more to this story of these women, and that legalization of same-sex marriage in Canada wasn't a thing until 2005. So both of these women were born in the 19-teens, before women and people of color in Canada had the right to vote, and they both died before women had the right to marry each other. So their lives are kind of bookended by these periods where they weren't able to fully express their true selves. And so it really struck me as being a still relevant story to delve into and to understand why they seemed so connected, but also why this language around their connection was so coded.
Yeah, and I think that the more we looked into the archival documents at Trent University, we really did, we came to our own conclusions. We sort of already had by reading the language initially that we thought, oh, well, these two women must have been in a relationship with one another. Mm-hmm. And yet we couldn't out them.
No. We didn't want to say anything about them that they wouldn't have said about themselves, or use language that they wouldn't have used to describe themselves at the time. And yet everything we found in our archival research just deepened our certainty that they were in love. They were a romantic couple. They shared a life. They shared all their home and activities.
A solicitor.
They shared a lawyer.
Family trips.
They made legal provisions for each other when it came to their end of life decisions. They cared for each other in sickness and in health. They both had significant health struggles at different times in their lives, and we know from the records they left that they supported each other throughout all of that. And so it was through actually speaking to a pair of retired Trent professors that we were able to confirm that they were out to each other. And by each other, we mean not just them as a couple, but also the sphere of women that were part of their inner circle in their private realm, the women of Windy Pines.
Yeah. So Windy Pine is the name of the Haliburton property that Flora and Mary had purchased back in 1940. And this was somewhere where they spent a lot of time, apart from their professional lives in the city, because they both worked as educators, they worked during the school year. And so the summer was really their own to do with what they wanted. And they could spend it at Windy Pine, at that property with their friends and family, or they could go before its sale in 1964 to the Carrying Place house, the Miskin Weller Corrigan house, that was still so integral to Flora's childhood and her family life. And she being adopted into that family tree, and Mary being her partner and not having necessarily the best relationship with her own family. Mm-hmm. She was also, grafted into this Carrying Place family. And these two locations of Haliburton and the Carrying Place became, a refuge of sort.
Definitely, yeah.
Where they could truly be themselves to themselves, but also to their close circle.
And I think one of the highlights of the archival reading that we found is that quote that you found with the Scottish expression I can never get right.
Gang a gley.
Yeah. So when things go gang a gley, which means to just not go well, but they still had their time in the summer, and it was the summer times that they had together where they felt most themselves, most free, most able to just be together. And so that's why we took Mary's phrase,
Yeah, she used the phrase.
"So went the summer."
Yes, and we have incorporated it into our concluding panel. You're going to have to come see it, obviously, because Mary's words are much better than anything the two of us could ever write. But it so encapsulated the idea that the summer was truly when Flora and Mary could be Flora and Mary.
Yeah, despite adversity, hardship, all the trials of life, they still felt like they found summer in each other.
Yeah.
I think.